Let's Talk Marathon County is a program that brings together residents from across the political spectrum for moderator-led discussions on public issues. The WIP's research partners team analyzes notes and data from each dialogue to identify common themes and insights, which are then shared with the public in summary reports.
I saw this in the paper about the Let's Talk program, and I thought, I really believe in what they're trying to do.
I actually feel a sense of obligation when instances like this arise to go and represent on behalf of the minority community and share my voice.
I think it's very important to participate in conversations and to really promote conversation, because we have just broken apart so much from talking one-to-one, talking to people, giving people the opportunity to express what they feel and for them to listen to what you feel.
I feel like I have a lot of differing opinions from the other members of my community, and I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard.
I want to meet people. I want to be part of different communities. I am just wanting to learn.
I've lived in Wausau for 56 years.
I am a community organizer here in Wausau.
I was born in New York, raised in Colombia, South America. For the last nearly 14 years living here in Wausau, which is my home.
I'm the vice president of Out Loud Marathon County, which is Central Wisconsin's first LGBT center.
I am born in Mexico. I am currently living here in Wausau.
The Let's Talk process seemed to be really up my alley because I've worked in controversial issues for many years. This would be an opportunity to meet new people and also to hear varying viewpoints on issues that are just difficult issues to resolve.
I want to learn more about my community, and I want to be able to communicate more effectively with members of my community.
Even though it's really tough sometimes because there's an intimidation factor to go into spaces like this and have some of these tough conversations, I feel compelled to do it because I do think that having these in-person dialogues is where change can start.
I feel almost like kind of ostracized or a little bit alienated from like the greater Wausau area. So I felt like I was going to be judged or people were going to kind of look down on me for having differing opinions. But thankfully that wasn't the case.
I was so impressed with the ability of everybody to kind of be flexible.
That conversation table is crucial, it's vital. It's the only way I believe that we're going to get a lot of narratives destroyed and really focus on what's the reality and see in reality and try to get to some common solutions.
I just want to say that the facilitators did a fabulous job, and that to me in solving community problems is a big issue.
Everybody understood that we each have our chance to talk, but we also have to listen.
I didn't get an impression that one person's perspective held more weight than the other.
The facilitator has to be excellent. They can't let it get out of control.
I do have to really give a round of applause to the dialogue team. They set the groundwork for us to have a respectful conversation.
There was always a way to figure out, well, if I don't agree with that, what do I have to offer as an alternative?
After I've said some stuff that I didn't know if people were going to agree with, a lot of people seemed to have changed their minds or at least started to think about a different solution.
There was a gentleman who I know he was very much opposite in terms of beliefs, but he did a really good job of conveying his perspective. I was walking out of the talk and he was like, "Young lady, can I talk to you for a minute?" He had said that I had made some good points in the discussion and that, he'd considered some things that he hadn't before and he was glad that I came. And I was really surprised because if I would have had to peg somebody to say that, he probably would have been the last person I would have guessed to have thought that about me.
I did feel vulnerable in the talks, mostly because if you're sharing an opinion that you don't think other people have, you're not sure how they are going to react. Thankfully, it was mostly just follow-up questions and people wanting to learn more.
I was telling them my story in a way that it would touch their heart. We walked through the whole process. He changed. Even the way he looked at me changed. I noticed that. I felt like I had power. I am able to do more than what I think I am. I had that opportunity to be the face of making people change the way they think.
My lived experiences and perspective alone can't totally transform somebody's mind, but it can definitely be that catalyst for somebody to start thinking differently and considering a perspective that maybe just never crossed their mind, you know, because a lot of times we find ourselves in social circles that really match and mirror our belief systems, and so we're not really put in that position where, why do I think the way that I think? Why do I have this belief?
There were young people, there were retired people like me who probably have pretty fixed views on things.
Sometimes we have to let go of some of those preconceived ideas so that we can actually receive the conversation as it stands.
I thought the young people were really enlightened.
Every conversation, even if I don't agree sometimes, it's so important to listen to what people's concerns are and come out of there at least with a list of questions and try to find some answers.
It's a gift to be able to change your mind. It's a gift to be able to receive information and say, I didn't know that, and because I didn't know that, I'm going to use that to potentially shift my perspective.
It felt really gratifying and heartwarming for me because I felt like I was making a difference in a really positive way in my community.
I can't change Washington right now. That's a big, tall task. We have to start our work in our home, in our backyards, in our town.
Whether it's the chairman of the board, whether it is the president of the United States, they got to listen to people and try and find a balance.
Talking with people that I wouldn't have talked to otherwise really changed my perspective and opinion on the people living in this area.
We can show by example how good it is to be a community engaged in conversation and working together.
I heard new views, I heard different views. I didn't agree with all. They didn't agree with me necessarily, but there is room to find common ground.
I feel a lot more connected to my community now, a lot more comfortable talking with members of my community.
It showed me that we are not alone. We can reason and understand each other.
I loved it.
I'm a community member that values my neighbors. So I would challenge anybody who feels similarly, you belong at this talk too.